Riley has gotten so big. She's officially a teenager now. My team has run all the data, and we're looking at the following likely scenarios.
Inside Out 2, the movie we've all been waiting for, has finally been released, and we could all watch it and enjoy it, and honestly, it's definitely one of the most well-made Pixar movies in the last decade. It's a masterpiece. This is mainly because it really influences and it shows us an amazing portrayal of our emotions when we grow up. As Riley grows up, she's gonna have to fight with new emotions that are gonna try to take control over her mind. But is she really gonna let this happen though? Well, the movie has been a massive success all over the world. But as with any great movie we know, there is an incredible, meticulous process behind it of making the movie in the first place. And Inside Out 2 is no different. The graphics, the colors, the voices, the bloopers, there are many things that you definitely have to see about the behind the scenes of Inside Out 2, and you really have to see them. So without further ado guys, let's go right into the behind the scenes on Inside Out 2 with the bloopers and everything we have to see behind the camera. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to be looking at guys is the voice cast of the movie. It's an incredibly well made and well chosen voice cast. As Joy, we have Amy Poehler, and we see her in this little voice cast clip voicing Joy in such a great and beautiful way. Let's see it.
Riley has gotten so big. She's officially a teenager now. Inside Out is a workplace comedy. No one really has that much in common. Fear and anger, keeping Riley on her toes. Disgust, sadness, and joy, and then...
As we see, Amy and all the other voice casts are having incredible fun making the voices for these amazing characters of Inside Out 2. And here she's talking about the fact that these characters are very fun to voice. Then we have Tony Hill, who voices Fear, and he says that he feels really identified with this character because in real life he freaks out a lot, and he feels an incredible connection with this character because he's all over the place and very outrageous, as we see in the movie. He's way more outrageous in this movie than in the first, because now, as you know, we have a new guy called Anxiety coming in.
I feel very connected to Fear. I freak out a lot. I do not like haunted houses.
Then we have the voice actor who voices Envy, and she's Ayo Edebri. And we can see that in this scene she's having a lot of fun voicing her character, and in some instances Pixar actually let her do some things by herself, because as we see in the movie, Envy is a very energetic girl. Because of this, she really acted out her emotions, and sometimes she said some things that came out of her head and it matched the character of Envy. Overall, we can see that she's having great fun in the studio recording this character, which is very rambunctious.
I play Envy. She's very small. I got to do like a lot of really fun, ridiculous things with my voice. She picked me. She picked me. Did you see that on me? She picked me. Sometimes it's really high. Very good. Sometimes it's very low.
Oh, we are so cool right now.
Sometimes it's like very muppety.
Bop, bop, scabba, bop.
That was insane.
How you feeling?
Then we have Paul Walter Hauser, who voices Embarrassment in the movie. And Embarrassment actually is one of the best characters because he sees sadness in one of the scenes, if you remember, but he doesn't tell anyone of the team because sadness was the only emotion that was nice to him in the beginning. So he protects sadness, but she ends up getting catched by anxiety. Paul did an incredible job showing us Embarrassment in a very shy, but at the same time fun way. And here we see him having fun voicing the character.
Of its own way. Can't hide. Ennui is boredom, checked out over things.
One of the funniest things about Inside Out 2 is that Ennui is French. I'm sure they did this because French sounds a little slower than English or other languages, and they wanted to give Ennui the appearance that he's always bored all the time. The actor who voices Ennui in Inside Out 2 is Adele Exarchopoulos. She's a very popular and well-known French actress who came in to voice Ennui for us in Inside Out 2, and she did an incredible job, showing us that Ennui is completely unbothered with everything that happens in Riley's mind. But at the same time, she really adds that sassy touch to Ennui that makes it absolutely unique. She does a great job, honestly. We can see it here.
Like this noodle lying on a chaise lounge.
Every emotion is good for Riley.
Joy is so old school.
She calls Joy old school, and it hits pretty deep.
And then we have the star of the show, Anxiety, who is voiced by Maya Hawke. As we hear her saying in this part, she loves this crazy orange dumpling. The main reason why Anxiety has been such a greatly loved animated character in Inside Out 2 is because of her, Maya Hawke. She did an amazing job voicing the character and giving life to this character as someone very rambunctious, but at the same time with very bad plans for Riley in her head. As we see, Anxiety ends up hijacking Riley's mind to put on bad thoughts and bad emotions in the self-belief system of Riley. Riley. And as we see, she's doing an incredible job voicing anxiety, adding an incredible personality touch to the character.
I love this little crazy orange dumpling. She has a lot of opinions. My team has run all the data and we're looking at the following likely scenarios.
Overall, the voice cast for Inside Out 2 was amazingly chosen and perfectly tailored to an amazing movie like Inside Out 2. And as such, the movie has been massively successful and people have loved it because of these voice actors. So a lot of props to them. Next up, I'm gonna be showing you some clips of Inside Out 2 that you definitely have to see. When we see the emotions go down the river, and this is basically after they escape the vault that anxiety puts them in after taking control over Riley's mind. She bottles them up in the infamous scene, given a reference to bottled up emotions. Then they meet Bloofy and Pouchy, who has dynamite and allows them to get out. And after this, they have to go back to the headquarters and they're looking for a plan, and this is the scene that we're looking at right now, where they come across the river of emotions. We see Riley playing hockey, and we see all the emotions trying to get into a slice of pizza.
The stream of consciousness.
I'd give anything for a piece of pizza right now.
Deep dish.
Oh, and it's still warm.
Extra cheese, baby.
I'm anxiety. That's ennui.
On what?
Ennui.
I'm gonna call you Wee Wee.
No.
On June 14th,
Ready?
Pixar kicks off the summer.
Just don't look down and keep moving. She'll be okay, right?
50-50. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. Rated PG. June 14th.
Then we have the funniest and most random thing that Pixar has ever done to a movie like this, but in order to promote the movie more and to give it a more funny tone, they actually released a live video that lasts 1 hour where we see Sadness and Embarrassment dancing shy in the club. Of course, they put these two characters because they are introverts. They are Sadness and Embarrassment. That's why they also get along in the movie when they see each other for the first time. Sadness protects and actually gets along with Embarrassment, and Embarrassment gives back the favor by not revealing Sadness' identity when she gets into the headquarters. And in this 1 hour clip, we can see them dancing in a club where music is popping off and everything is supposed to be fun, but because they are introverts, they are literally cocooned into their own minds and they are super shy. Very, very funny. Next up in this clip, we have the scene where the emotions are sleeping, but all of a sudden the alarm for puberty goes off, and they don't know what's going on, and the image pauses and it basically tells us the whole story of what's happening right now. Because Riley is growing up, and as she is growing up, new emotions are coming in that are gonna make her life a lot more different than in the first movie and when she was a youngster. Now she's a grown adult, and she will have to deal with new emotions like anxiety, ennui, embarrassment, and envy. But the best part about this clip is that right in the middle, we see the emotion that none of us expected, and that is nostalgia. She was portrayed incredibly well because nostalgia is supposed to be the feeling of something that happened in the past, and because of this, we see her as an old woman with a cup of tea in her hand and a cute set of glasses, remembering things that just happened a minute ago. A very funny scene that really shows us how fun this incredible movie of Inside Out 2 really is.
Let me catch you up. Riley's officially a teenager now, which means more emotions. Anxiety. Hello. Ennui. Envy. And embarrassment.
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters?
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia.
Yeah, those were the days.
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
Oh, remember when...
Rated PG. Only in theaters June 14th.
Let me catch.
And finally, a bonus clip that you're definitely gonna want to see here is the fact that most people, when they watch a movie, they live before watching the credits. But after the credits, especially in Pixar movies, we know that that's not the end, and they leave something for us that really entails for a third movie. And we see a scene where Riley is talking to a new character that we've never seen before that comes out of the darkness and is supposedly the emotion of shame or emotion of guilt. Due to the success of Inside Out 2, it's more than probable that a third movie is probably gonna be happening. They really left us this scene that shows us a brand new emotion or character, we still don't know who this character is, that really has a lot of mystery around him.